Hi, this is Dan Lefave. Do you know that we become what we think about all day long, whether we like it or not? And if we're not very careful, that we'll have circumstances, situations, and events in our lives that we don't want at all? You know, I recently shared a quote that I saw online with my son, and it goes like this: "No amount of water in the ocean can sink a ship. It's the water that gets in the ship that sinks it." Now, when I shared that with him, he's only 7 years old. So I shared it with him, and he says, "Oh, I get it." He said, "You know, if somebody's angry and they get angry at me and I decide to let that anger in, then I'll be angry." And I was very delighted to hear him say that, but that wasn't the point of the story. But obviously he's been listening to me and learning from me, and I've been teaching him about these ideas about letting ideas into your mind and then having them experienced in your life. So I'll go back a few years ago and I'll share an experience with you that's going to help you understand this greatly. And it may be a little bit graphic and gross. I'll warn you now, warning, this is going to be a little bit gross, but it'll really teach you and help you understand why you don't want to have certain thoughts. All right, so here's how it goes. I was at a golf range. I was warming up for the golf season, and at the end of my session, I decided, or not decided, but I had to go to the washroom. So I'm looking for the men's room, and I find this. So I go inside, and as I'm in there doing my thing, I think to myself, imagine if somebody dropped their keys inside this hole. And at that moment, I had the keys in my hand, and I wasn't really contemplating it for myself, but imagine if somebody dropped their keys in this hole. You know, how would that go? What would they do, right? And within seconds, I started jumbling them around in my hands for some reason. They slipped in my hands, and they bounced around, and next thing you know, they're in the hole. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what did I just do? I just contemplated this idea, and now my keys are inside this hole, and I need to get in my car and drive home. So my keys are in the hole, and I'm sweating this out. I'm thinking, what am I going to do, right? Well, there wasn't many options. I mean, I could have done many things, from going to get a plastic bag or something like that and putting my my hand in this garbage bag, but then I'd have to own up to the fact that I dropped my keys in there to the people that run the golf range, and so really wasn't appealing to me to do that. So you know what? I did what you wouldn't even think of. I just plunged my hand right in there, and I went right for it. And I was surprised that my keys were actually reachable. I thought it would be much deeper than that, but I plunged my arm right in there and got my keys. Now, I know that's kind of gross, and it grosses me out when I think about it, but I did it, and I got my keys. And I washed them off. I washed my hands. I washed my arm. I mean, I washed my arm probably for hours and for days afterwards. But the point is this: I let that thought into my head. I imagined it for a moment. Imagine if somebody dropped them there. What would they do? How would that go? And look what happened. I got exactly what I thought about. So the point of this whole story, and this metaphor, if you will, is that you don't want to think about things that you don't want, because they will come into fruition. They will become your reality in your life. And when you get them, sometimes you might think to yourself, why did I think that? Why did I let that thought in? You may say that and you may not, but I'm telling you today, be careful. What you say to yourself can come true. I've had it happen many times. I've lost jobs because I thought I was going to get fired. I've seen it at parks with parents, and even myself. The parent says to the child, "Don't do that. You're going to fall and get hurt." And then moments later, they fall and they get hurt. And then the parent says, "You see, I told you so." Well, that's the moral of the story. So the point is this: think about things that you want. Get on track with what you want. Think accurately. Think in the direction you want to go in. Don't let your mind slip and slide all over the place and drift. You don't want to do that. Why? Because there's certain things that you want in your life. If you don't want heavy traffic on the way into a meeting or to the city or to work or whatever the case may be, don't think about it like that. Think about a nice smooth ride, traffic moving slowly, you being safe, getting there safely, returning home safe, all the things that you want around that. Think in those terms. So I'm challenging you to start thinking in the direction that you want to go in. Listen to what I'm sharing here. This is not my idea, it's been passed down, and I'm sharing it with you. I do this on a consistent basis, and I practice it every single day, and I see the results, and I want you to see them too. So go ahead and put this into practice. Think something that you want every day, plug it in your mind. Maybe you do it multiple times during the day, maybe morning, noon, and night at least 3 times a day. Do it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then see the results, and report back. Please comment. I'll read your comments. I'll write back to you. I read everything personally. I want to see how this works for you. So go out and give this a try. Speak to your mind in the way that you want to speak. And when you catch it thinking about things you don't want, shut it off. Otherwise, you might find your keys inside the hole in the porta potty. And you don't want that. I certainly didn't, and I experienced it. So if you're not on my website right now, danlefave.com, I suggest you go there. Please comment, like, share, or don't like, whatever you like. Do something on my webpage, my website, and let me know what you think, because I want to hear from you. I respect your opinion, and I certainly want to help you out. Thank you very much, and make it a great day.